back to No Filter MMA. We have a very, very, very special guest live with us tonight. It's we also have Taylor joining us from One Up MMA, of course. But we have ahead of UFC 228 this weekend. We have Miss Arlene Sanchez Bond, and she is Nico Montano.
Hold on one second. Hold on, boys. Hold on, boys.
Oh, you're
Let me
good.
get
You're
this
totally
shit done.
good.
This shit done. All right. All right. I think I got y'all now. Sorry about that.
No, you're totally good. This lady right here, that's our special guest, guys, is Nico Montano's striking coach, Miss Arlene Sanchez Vaughn. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
This is awesome.
This is so awesome. Me and Taylor are like the biggest Nico Montano fans. Like we go
Yeah.
we go to bat for Nico every chance we get.
Well, right on, man. We need people like you guys behind us, so that's cool.
Yeah, the
So
second
tell
I
us.
found
Go ahead.
Navajo,
Go ahead. Go ahead,
oh yeah,
Taylor.
see,
Say that again.
I'm Navajo too. So when I found out Nico Montano was Navajo, that sealed it, man. And then she won the show, looked incredible, and I just been a fan ever since then.
Right on. I hear. Where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Utah, but I think my family, originally is from, Arizona. I'm not sure.
All right, cool. We got some other natives from out of Utah, the Parker brothers, that are pretty badass MMA fighters too. One's actually a KOTC world champion middleweight.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna look them up because
Yep,
I
they're
think that's great.
Navajo
I
and
didn't know that.
yep, Navajo and I guess Omaha, I guess, right? Something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
That's pretty cool. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
yeah.
So okay, so Miss Vaughn, I have to ask you a few questions. Okay. First off, my first question is, with you being such a small gym and being right down the road from Jackson Wink Academy, how does it feel having having a champion, a UFC champion under your roster, training in your gym?
You know what? It's badass because number one, we have the only UFC champion out of the state right now, so that's a really good feeling, and me and Mike Winklejohn were teammates, so we kind of grew up together under the same trainer. And it's just a little ironic that we both have the biggest gyms in the state of New Mexico. So we're with the only champions.
Absolutely. So what was you? And I seen where you. I did my research. It shows that you were a fighter once yourself. Talk to us just a second about that.
Yeah, you know what? That's what I was saying. Me and Mike were teammates, man, under Bill Packer with the AKKA system out of New Mexico, and back in 1980s, that's when we were punk kids back then. And I retired in '95. Man, I was in the business for a while, a long time, and retired in 1995, and moved on to Open Fit and HB with my partner and my husband Tom Vaughn in 1998. So
Man, that's awesome.
yeah,
That is
yeah.
pretty awesome. Heck yeah. So Nico's been under a lot of scrutiny lately. People have been saying, because with her health issues and her injuries and stuff like that, people are translating that into Nico not wanting to fight Valentina. I personally never thought that Nico never wanted to fight Valentina, but sometimes, watching this sport, being a part of this sport, injuries happen, sicknesses happen, surgeries have to happen, recovery, training, all that kind of stuff. With you being on the inside of what's going on with Nico, how does it feel getting all of that coming in on her and her with you knowing exactly what's going on with her?
Well, here's the inside scoop, man. As well as I do. If y'all followed the Ultimate Fighter, this young lady with hardly not much experience went in and fought back-to-back fights. Went the distance on every one of those fights. Then a couple weeks later, we had to go in and fight for the Ultimate Fighter title. With that, we were gifted the UFC women's 125-pound world title. So Nico, through all those fights and not much healing time, never really healed. She left the Ultimate Fighter, and once again we were training for the big one, the finale, and she was injured the first week back at the gym. We tried to keep it hush, but you know, it was a pretty serious injury, and that's the one with her foot that she still deals with. But you know, she just like she told me, she's like, Coach, nothing's gonna stop me. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna finish this, and I'm gonna win. And sure enough, she did. She did. We last minute we got a replacement with Roxanne Modafferi because Sajara Eubanks missed the weight and got really ill trying to make the cut. We wound up with a whole different fighter that had 13 to 14 years to train for this title, and she failed. And we wound up winning the Ultimate Fighter, which is cool, with the injuries. The doctors that day of the fight helped Nikko with her foot by giving her a shot of cortisone to help with the pain, because she was not going to back out of it. She was full steam ahead, and she did. And you know, she wound up winning it, and then we wound up being gifted the first women's 125-pound, you know, world championship.
That's crazy. Watching her fight Roxanne, you would never even know she was injured. She dominated her. It was an awesome fight to watch. But yeah, I had no idea it was that bad going into that fight.
Right. And you know what? And it's really, you know, here's the thing is you got some fighters that are running their mouths about all these little baby ass injuries they got. Those are the guys that are trying to back out. But you know what? Nikko didn't say much about it, man. She dealt with a lot of stuff. She dealt with, you know, for this one coming up, she had her tonsils were jacked up and they were causing some kind of bacterial infection in her body. And so that was throwing her body off. She wasn't able to be well. The foot injury is still there, and that's never going to go away unless she has some kind of surgery. But you know what, man? She's a warrior. She keeps walking through stuff and holds her head up and does her training. And at the end of the day, she goes to her doctors and they take care of her feet. You know, and the UFC pulled her in. They had a doctor sent her to a hospital. They removed her tonsils, and I believe her adenoids too. So she's already gone through all that stuff. But you know what? People don't know this because it's really nobody's business. We're just trying to get through this and stay focused on the task at hand. And you know, those in the know what's really going on, and not the people on the outside. It's you know, to us it's not as important as the people that really surround us with the positive energy that she needs, you know?
Yeah, that's how it should be.
Yeah, that's definitely how it should be. So let me ask you this: what did you guys do when Nikko was finally well and she was able to fight? What was your approach to getting Nikko ready for an opponent like Valentina Shevchenko? Because we all know who Valentina Shevchenko is, you know. So what was your approach as a coach getting Nikko ready for that?
Well, you know, I'm only one side of this. You know, Nikko there's a few coaches in the gym, obviously, for the disciplines involved in MMA, and I'm only just a small piece of that. But, you know, one thing we do know is we don't have the experience to go in there with a young lady that's got 25 years of striking experience. So, but this isn't a striking match. This is an MMA game, meaning there's many, many disciplines involved.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're working on. We're working on all aspects of mixed martial arts. And that's what she's been doing, focusing on a little bit of everything. Now, there are some of the disciplines that we're focusing on a little bit more, because obviously Valentina is more of a striker than she is a wrestler or a jiu-jitsu artist. You know what I mean? So those are the two disciplines that we've kind of a little more focused on, is really the mat work.
Yeah, I saw that on today's episode of Embedded. I seen Nikko working some takedowns and stuff like that. So let me ask you, how's fight week? How is it, you know, with your champion? Your champion's there. You guys are in Dallas. How is the whole experience of having cameras in your face and the whole UFC shebang?
It's crazy. You guys got it. I'm serious, man. It's really crazy over here already. I mean, Nico's out and about still right now. But you know what's cool is she rolls with it, man. You know, you being Navajo, you guys are so chill, man, which is so cool. about the Native Americans, you know, and Nico's
Yeah.
one of those. She just rolls with the punches, you know, and keeps a positive attitude, knowing that, you know, deep down inside, she's ready for war at any time. And she's such a neat soul. You know, there's no stress going on. She's just rolling with the punches right now, and these cameras are. I mean, the camera boarded the plane in Albuquerque, man, for this embedded stuff, and he's been following her. Yeah, he's been following her all week, and then he's on the plane with us, and then he's here in the airport, and he's in our vehicle driving over here to the Hilton to whatever wherever freaking hotel we're at. You know what I mean? And yeah, so and then he stops and some other cameras pop on and it's just nonstop, man. So but she's rolling with it, which is really cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It's crazy though.
Let me ask you this. So going into Tough, how did you feel knowing that your fighter was going to be away from you, not under your coaching and stuff? You know, she was going to be under the hands of the UFC, and then to see Nico come out on top. You know, what was that feeling like?
You mean with the Ultimate Fighter show?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hold on one second. Well, the Ultimate Fighter show, here's the thing is, man, you know what? We already knew what we had going into that show, and that's why it was requested to her that she should do the show. You know what I mean? So we always tell all our fighters to go and jump in that show because we have the utmost confidence that we're going to come out winners in those shows. And lo and behold, Nico came out the champion in that show. It was a no-brainer to us on that.
But Nico beat some credible opponent. I mean, she beat Lauren Murphy.
Bob Honchak.
Yeah, she beat Barb Honchak. She beat submission specialist Montana De La Rosa. And then she beat Roxanne Modafferi for the title. I mean, and people don't give the 125-pound, and now because they don't give the 125-pound division a lot of credit because a lot of the girls came from Tough because they're comparing her to Valentina Shevchenko. So I mean, and those girls have a lot to offer. Like those are credible opponents that Nico decimated throughout the competition and also on the finale. So my question is, why do you think that people are so overwhelmingly counting Nico out with you knowing exactly what kind of fighter she is?
Well, remember, we're in the business. I've been in this business for almost 40 years now. The other coaches, we probably have about 100 years of fight experience with the three coaches under the roof of FITNHB. So we actually did our homework. We already knew who was going into that house ahead of time, who had been chosen. So we already knew, and some of the girls we've had experience with the promotions that we've had, like Barb Honchak has been on our promotion, King of the Cage, so on and so forth. So we already kind of knew what we were looking at in the way of our opponents and how they were going to come out and fight. And it was just a matter of Nico just being Nico. You know, so and obviously the team that she had behind her with the Ultimate Fighter was a great team. You know, Gaethje's a badass, man. He might be a brawler and, you know, doesn't think he'll put a lot of mindset to fighting. He just goes out there and whoops some ass. You know what I mean? But she had a great team behind her during that time, you know, and it just kind of extended from what we do at our gym. So, like I said, it wasn't really a big brainer for us, man. We figured our girl was going to do it, and sure enough, she did it.
Go ahead, Taylor.
Oh yeah. Like people don't know how good Montana De La Rosa is. She's 2-0 in the UFC, 2 submissions, and Nico beat her. Yeah, like BJ was saying, people don't respect the 125ers, but that's because they don't know. Like,
correct.
Yeah, Nico went through some tough girls, especially in that weight class, and she won. Like, no matter what anyone says, Valentina Shevchenko's never held a title, and Nico Montano has one. And you can never take that away.
That's exactly right. So let me ask you this: with Valentina coming into that division and dominating Priscilla Cachoeira, how do you feel about her, for one, making her flyweight debut? Because one thing I don't believe is what you do in one division shouldn't translate to what you do in another division. This is a whole new division. So how do you feel about Valentina coming in, fighting a girl who had her UFC debut from Invicta, dominating her and getting the immediate title shot when there were girls in that division with 2 wins under their belt in the UFC already.
Well, the way I feel is this: shame on Dana White. Not cool.
Whew, you heard it. You heard it. You heard it from
Not
Nico's
cool.
coach.
That young lady should not have been in there with Valentina at that time. There, just like you said, there's other contenders that have worked their way in that division, and they're the ones that should have gotten the opportunity. So shame on Dana for that one.
Because to me, it was like they set Valentina up to look like such a nightmare. It was like they set
Correct.
Valentina.
Correct.
It was like they set her up to make Nico look bad. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't think it was a matter of, that's just how I don't think it was a matter of trying to make Nico look bad, but I do feel like it was to put Valentina up there on that #1 status, so that she can fight the champion, which is Nico.
Well, I'm telling you, I am so excited to see the tools and how Nico is going to approach
Sorry.
Valentina, because there's been many times in the UFC where you see fighters rise to the occasion and rise to the challenge and the task and overcome the person that's in there with them. So, I know you probably don't want to reveal her game plan, but what is, the strategy going into this fight?
Well, it's the same strategy that Nico had before. Nico's going to be Nico. She's, unpredictable. She's kind of hard to get your hands on her. She's well versed in all areas of MMA, and everyone's going to have to wait and see exactly how it shows, how it goes down on Saturday night.
Ooh, go ahead, Taylor. My bad, man.
Oh man, no, I can't wait, man. I'm stoked. Nico, people don't understand. I think Valentina's gonna come forward because she thinks she's that good, and Nico's gonna hit her with that takedown, and she's not gonna know what to do. And when Nico's still there in the third and the fourth and the fifth round, I think Valentina breaks, and I think Nico takes over and wins the decision.
It's just
I
to
like
me
how
like
you think.
it's like Nico has Valentina has a great gas tank. She does.
Yes.
But the only if you notice when in Valentina's past fights, when someone puts pressure on Valentina, like Amanda Nunes, let's say for instance, when Valentina has pressure put against her, it's like she gets kind of hesitant, and Nico constantly puts pressure on her opponents. Like Nico has very very heavy pressure when it comes to a fight. So how do you think Valentina's going to deal with Nico and Nico's style?
I'm sure that Valentina has done all her homework, and we want her to be the best Valentina on Saturday night. But Valentina, being a Muay Thai, artist, is basically a counter striker, and if she's not careful, that's going to work against her. So, like I said, once again, this isn't a striking match. It's going to be all aspects of MMA that we're going to see Saturday night, and Nico's going to execute it.
So let's. I know Nico's definitely not looking past Valentina, but
Correct.
Nico wins. Nico retains her belt. Okay, let's say Nico retains her belt. Do you think that because if Nico wins, if she beats Valentina, if she slays the beast, that is going to put your gym and your organization on the map. Like it's going to bring a lot of attention to Nico and who's behind Nico. Are you guys prepared for that kind of attention?
Well, here's the thing: is Carlos Condit was under us for the first 9 years of his career. We took him to
Yes, he was.
undefeated WEC status, world champion, status. We've been in this business for a long time. Will it change anything that we do? Absolutely not. Will it change who we are? Absolutely not. If it happens to open the doors for a few more, individuals that are interested in learning, MMA, our doors are open, man. Let it happen. Like I said, we've been in the business long enough to know it's not what everybody thinks it is. It's the floodgates aren't going to open if Nico wins. It doesn't work like that. But it would be cool. We're ready. But we've always been ready. So, because we've produced some pretty badass MMA fighters that people, they might not be, world renowned yet, or some of them like Tim Means, you know what I mean? He doesn't have a UFC belt around his waist yet, but you know, he was a 4-time, 5-time King of the Cage champion in 2 weight classes. You know, pretty talented young man, and we've got other guys that we're working on right now too, and one that just had a 14-second KO that, my God, you could hear the dude's head crack around the world. It was insane on Saturday night in Colorado.
I saw that.
My God. This guy's a Brazilian, and we're looking at him, you know what I mean? And we think we're going to have him in the UFC by 2019. So we've been doing this a while, man, and, you know, it wouldn't surprise us. And, you know, we're okay with it. Whatever happens. All we know is this, is that FITNHB is a family, and we're not one of them gyms that, you know, just opens the door the athletes because they're athletes or because they're somebodies. We open our doors to everybody, man, and we welcome everybody that wants to, you know, give MMA a try or any of the disciplines that we teach. If you come in and you want to learn something, we're there to teach you.
Yeah, go ahead, Taylor.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I love Tim Means. If you don't understand how good he is, that dude, he throws pounds, and he's
he
good
does
all around.
Yeah, Tim's very good. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And I actually did not know that Tim and Nico trained together. So that was I found that out. So that was great. Absolutely. So this question here for you. Nico, going back to what you were saying about Nico and her demeanor, she's always very, very calm. She's always very, very smooth with everything that she says, and nothing is. She doesn't let anything get to her. What do you think that comes from with Nico? What do you think? Is that just a trait of Nico's, or is that the fighter Nico?
You know, I mean, I think with all of us, I think it stems from who she was growing up, you know, her environment, the environment that she grew up in, you know, the people that she comes from, and it just, you know, as she developed into an adult and as a fighter, it just kind of stayed there, you know, she's just not one to worry or stress about anything. Like I said, she just kind of rolls with it, man. And God, what better student to have than somebody like that? You know, she keeps an open mind, and she's willing to train, and she's willing to learn, and then she applies. You know, and she's not argumentative, nothing. It's just, like I say, you know, we've got some other Native Americans in our gym, and they're kind of the same way. The guys are a little more stoic than the females, though. You know, it's kind of hard to get them to smile or anything. But, you know, we know they're enjoying it because they come back every day, and you know, they're part of our team and have been for many years. So but it's, you know, I think it's just the environment people grow up around, you know, and grow up in.
Absolutely, yeah. So I got one last thing to ask you, Miss Vaughn. And once again, I really appreciate you coming on with us. We know Fight Week is hectic, and I know it's crazy out there, especially with embedded and everything going on. So with all this stuff going on right now, put us there with you. How is doing all the media, uh, training, and weight cutting? You know, how is all that going right now? And then my second part of my question is, um, well, actually, no, just answer that question.
Weight cutting's, you know, different than it was the last time we had the fight with the Ultimate Fighter finale and stuff. We're right where we need to be. We have the guys from the Performance Institute out here helping Nico with everything she needs. They make her meals. They take good care of her, which we applaud the UFC for. They've always been really, really good to our people, and we have never had a complaint with the UFC. So in that aspect with our people, but you know, it's, you know, it sucks, you know, cutting the weight sucks because, you know, she walks, you know, pretty heavy, but, you know, but she gets the job done in the end. She made the weight last time. She'll make the weight this time. And we go out here in probably about the next 30 minutes, and we start doing our pad work for the evening, and, you know, start getting our sweat on, and we'll wake up in the morning. We'll go through all the interviews, so on and so forth. Sometimes those just get in the way. She wants to train. You know what I mean? She wants to sweat. And all these interviews and cameras and, you know, all this stuff that's going on, man, is a deterrent, you know, is just in the way of what she's focused on, which is the fight on Saturday night. But it just goes with the territory. You know, she's obligated to do this stuff. And like I said, she just rolls with the punches, man. But we'll get the weight thing done, and we'll make that 125 number on Saturday. Actually, on Friday morning, we'll make that number.
Absolutely. Well, Taylor, you got anything else for Miss Arlene?
Oh no, I'm good. Just happy to man.
Yeah, it was definitely an honor for you to come on. So now that you're friends of No Filter MMA and One Up MMA, we're gonna have to get the champ on after she beats Valentina Saturday night.
That's right.
Absolutely. Hey man, I'm gonna just give a little shout out to Tim Dirty Bird Means. He's got a fight November 30th, and you know, we got big plans to move on from that one real quick. So you know, just if you guys want to speak with Timmy, man, please do. If you haven't talked with him before, you need to. He's a really neat guy, and I think you guys would really enjoy talking with him.
Absolutely, we are definitely open.
Yeah.
We're definitely open for that any day.
Cool.
Well, we're gonna let you get off of here. Just let me get a sound bite from you. Just say this is Arlene Sanchez. Arlene Vaughn, and you are on with No Filter MMA.
Well, this is Arlene Sanchez Vaughn, and you're on with No Filter MMA.
Oh, score, baby, score. All right. Well, we'll let you get off here and let you get back to your busy week. Tell Nico that No Filter MMA and One Up MMA is definitely rooting for her.
You got it, man. We appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.
You too.